It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you. This question is, my name is Avi. I'm a creative director. So when we get layered with influence
Why
and
are you copying a question? I've seen people are copying answers, but
I've been writing notes as well, so this is just how I do it. When we get layered with influence and conditioning, how do you find your voice as no thought is original or mine? How do you find the nature of your existence or deepen your intuition in that sense?
now it's good that somebody is asking how, because only when you ask how, I become relevant. If you ask me all these questions, only it is about, you are asking for a conclusion. I am not willing to give you a conclusion, I will never entertain you with another conclusion to replace your existing conclusion. My whole life is only about deepening your question, because to ask a profound question, it takes a lot of work to sharpen that question so that it sinks right into your heart. If you manage to sharpen your question deep enough, you will get enlightened, believe me. The problem is, nobody has invested in a question. This is the problem. Before the question comes up, they have a ready-made conclusion about everything. They have not invested enough into your question. My entire early life went with questions and questions and questions. A cloud of billion questions around my head all the time. And wherever you went, everybody has a ready-made answer. Nobody is really answering you the way it needs to be. So, I only deepened my questions, I did not find answers. But if your question becomes deep enough, you will see the source of the question, if you know where it's coming from. The fundamental root of not knowing something is the question. So if the question becomes sharp enough, it'll sink to that point as to what is it that you did not know, you get there and you know. So about how, if you ask how, I have methods and methods and methods, okay? To start with, if your question is genuine only, I would ask you to invest 30 hours of focused time, okay? In a scientific way. You don't have to believe a thing that I say, okay? Because I won't say anything first of all. I'll give you something to work with, you work with it, if it works, I'll give you something else to work with, but it needs 30 hours of time to just help you to turn inward. When I say inward, I'm not talking contemplation or dissection, because what you call as my body and what you call as my mind are things that you accumulated from outside. This is accumulation of food that you've eaten, this is accumulation of impressions that you've taken in. So we don't consider body and mind and even your most profound thought as internal, it's all external. It is the data that you have collected which is playing out. We are not interested in your psychological drama. If you really want to turn inward, what instruments do you have? You don't have instruments to turn inward, because all the instruments of perception that you have are outward bound. Your sight, your hearing, your smell, your taste, your touch is everything outward bound. How will you turn inward with this? You cannot turn this, because these are instruments of survival, they came to you naturally unasked. But if you are seeking, you need something more. For this, a little striving is needed. I am asking only for 30 hours of focused striving. We will format it to you whichever way you want. 7 days, 3 days, 2 days, however you want it, we will format it for you. But you must be willing to give 30 hours of focused time. Now, presently I still don't have a technology to make it 3 hours, unless you are such a profound seeker already. To make you turn inward, it takes 30 hours for me. The day I'm able to do it in 3 hours, I will announce it to you. But right now it takes 30 hours. If you invest 30 hours, I'll give you a simple way that you turn inward, where your experience of life is little more than your physical body and your psychological structure. Now you have something concrete. Otherwise, you're only in a balloon of thoughts.
I think you can check that out outside. We really have to stop now.
This process that we are offering as a 30 hour is called inner engineering. Why I'm calling inner engineering is, see, today, you want to create anything outside, you want it well engineered, isn't it? Yes or no? You trust engineering and technology with everything outside. When it comes to inside, you have fancy philosophies and beliefs which have not worked for 1,000 years, but still you want to go on. Why? Simply because you believe and somebody says it's sacred. No, there is nothing sacred or filthy in this world. There is only some things that work and some things that don't work. I am only interested in that which works. This is spiritual process for me. What truly works on all levels of life, this is spiritual process. What works on one level and doesn't work on another level, obviously is not a complete thing, isn't it?
Sadhguru, I have reserved